Lucky Boys Podcast.
If the community worked with the police, met with them more,
Yeah.
talked to them,
We do this monthly. 4 times a month, in fact.
and it's
Like-
always a low turnout.
It's always a low turnout. Like, I've been to these community
So
board
how
meetings. They're
I
just-
think because I think part of the low turnout is because it's not marketed.
it is marketed. We send out the flyers. We tell the community liaisons that we have to spread the word, either through churches, businesses. We spread these things. It's not that we don't
But
do
is it marketed in the right direction?
I mean,
You know, it
listen,
may be marketed to the people that are going, well, the police don't bother me, so I don't need to show up.
well, here's the thing. Like, how do you effectively market it without people, like, kind of just crapping on it sometimes? Like, you could hand out flyers, right?
Mhm.
You could post them up on stores. You could do it by word of mouth. People will just scoff at it or they'll rip off the flyer. You can't control that. You know what I mean? And sometimes people are just so busy that they just don't show up. But at these community board meetings, you get to voice your problems to the police, like what's going on in the neighborhood. Like, this is a very good way for us to understand what this section of the neighborhood needs. But sometimes the people who attend,
Mhm.
they're not representative of that actual portion of the precinct. So you know, I worked in a pretty heavy command. I'm not gonna say what it was, obviously, but you know, it was busy. Like, I had a very busy command: robberies, emotionally disturbed people, car crashes all day long.
Right.
And like, the people who needed to come to these meetings, the people who live on the blocks where there are the most problems, they don't come. They don't come.
Is that because there's a fear, or is there?
It's a safe space. It's in a church.
Right. Do you think that? I mean, it's been communicated to these communities.
They do know. It's not that they don't know. We spread the word. Our neighborhood coordination officers, they go out there and they post the flyers. They do what they can. Social media. It's up to people.
Do you
to
think
take-
it would
take
help
on
if
that
they
onus.
actually did come out? Kenny was a big advocate of that. He thinks
I
that
think-
would help dramatically.
I think it would help, but at the same time, like the people that turn out for these, they don't live in those problem areas. They don't live there. So
So,
So
do you
the-
think the part of the problem is in the problematic areas, which a lot of people aren't discussing, should have some type of community leader, whether it's a gang member leader or it's someone that has a lot of influence within that block or that area, to come out to these and go, hey, look, this is what we need in our neighborhood. Even if it was a gang leader, you think in a way would he be kind of putting a target on his back? Or would, I mean, it's a safe space, but at the same time, he's kind of exposing himself.
right. I mean, the cynical part of me would say that that's pretty much a ludicrous suggestion, like for a gang member to like rally other people in that neighborhood
Well,
to come, because
I'll use
because
this as
here's
an
the thing.
example.
Wait,
Like,
wait,
for
wait,
example,
here-
Snoop
well,
Dogg,
here's the thing.
Nipsey Hussle.
Okay, well,
They
here's
came out, met with the community, and they're
Yes.
known to be
but they're
affiliated.
big. They're big time.
Right.
Like they're hugely recognized.
Right.
Like, these guys that if you were to say, oh, I'm gonna get a gang member liaison from this particular block to come to my community board meeting,
Mhm.
it's, I don't know, it's just a really, really whatever, because he's gonna find out if someone else from his neighborhood comes to that meeting and voices a
It's a wrap.
complaint, it's a wrap for you.
Yeah.
Like, snitches get stitches, right?
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
you know it's true.
Well,
because-
snitching's cool now.
No, I don't know if it's that cool.
All right. I
'cause
think 69 made it cool.
guess what? That gang member, he could be like the lieutenant or the captain of that gang.
Right.
And guess what? He's going to make your life miserable on that block.
But
It's entirely
What if it was
possible.
like a Jedi mind trick? You know, where they're like, hey, I'm going to talk to the cops. We're going to try to get, I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough thing to navigate. It's tough.
Like I said, I'm not making fun of your suggestion, obviously. Like, your examples with Snoop Dogg.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
This Snoop Dogg and these guys, they're like huge. So
Yeah,
there's
but they're
no
not-
basis for comparison. These
They
small
haven't
time
been-
gang
but
haven't
members.
been
here's
out-
here's the thing, though. Look, a lot of these people in these neighborhoods, in their communities, they don't want police violence. They don't want police to interfere with what they're doing, especially when they're not committing a crime. I can tell you that that's for damn sure. And that's where the over policing comes. So I think it is possible for leaders in the community, whether they're affiliated or not, to want to come and reach some dialogue with the police on how to improve the neighborhood by working together, at least create a bridge where it's not always as intense.
Well,
Because
like I
at the
said,
same time, if you got, look, even if I was a gang member, let's say I'm a gang member and I live in this neighborhood, but I got my kids here, I got my grandmama here, I got, people I love here, and it's constantly like I'm walking, I got to worry about the police coming at me. I got to worry about, and I may not be doing anything wrong, but just because the police know me or the police know that this part of the neighborhood, this block right here, if I'm walking it, I'm part of this group. Maybe I will talk to my guys or the people in the neighborhood. Go, hey, maybe it's not a bad idea. We're not snitching, but we're just telling the police, yo, relax, we're good here, and we're in a safe zone where we could create a dialogue. Like, yo, you don't got to be so intense. Like, look, as long as we keep it quiet, we agree to keep it quiet here. We won't the killings, the murders. Like, you ain't gonna see that shit. We'll control it, right? And in return, you guys chill the fuck out. Stop coming at us so hard. You know what I mean?
okay.
Like,
So-
let's say if they could come to, would that ever be possible for the police? And if, let's say, a gang leader or community leader or whatever said, hey, whatever, and they may not be gang leaders, they could be a community leader, then like a old timer on the block that's well respected by the
like
gangs.
a church leader, a
Yeah.
leader in the community.
Or a priest or whatever. Yeah. And they want to talk to the gang members. Hey, if you guys stop killing each other for a hot damn second, I could talk to the police officers. And then if the numbers are down, they can just chill out a bit.
Okay,
Can you
so-
agree to that?
So here's the thing. Like, we actually have meetings like that where we try to rope in these gang leaders into a meeting with like the captain of the
You
precinct.
said roping.
Well, not okay. Well, maybe not rope in,
But
but
yeah, I get what
we
you
try to
mean.
get them
Invite.
involved
Right.
to resolve this issue of everybody shooting each other or doing whatever it is that they're doing to each other to try to calm it down. But the thing is, like, even if you did all that, like if you told them, oh hey, we need you to kind of help us with controlling the violence in your block,
Mm-hmm.
they might listen to you for a second. They might even abide for it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually somebody in a neighborhood that doesn't like them, they're going to call about them. Because those guys are probably apt to hang at the corner deli. And guess what? We have to respond. And how do you think the gang members are going to receive that? They're going to see it as, yo, man, we freaking listened to you. We came to a meeting. We heard you out.
Mhm.
We did what we could. We kept it good here.
Mhm.
And now you coming at us and bothering us again.
Someone breaks a treaty in some way.
No, it's not even someone. It's someone that lives on that block that doesn't like what's happening. And the thing is, you can't leave that block alone. Even if you got their word that, hey, we're going to keep things on the low here. We're going to keep it good. We're going to keep it quiet for you so you don't have to keep coming here.
Mhm.
No.
No, you guys still have to
Someone-
patrol.
We still have to patrol.
But
we,
then-
we
but then-
leave you alone.
But
we
police
leave
don't-
you alone.
But police
You're
doesn't
apt to do
patrol
something.
like that in the good areas. Why do you have to patrol all the time? Like,
Well,
I'm
you-
playing devil's advocate, okay? Like in the nice areas, police. I see police patrolling, but it's not as drastic as in the other areas, high crime areas. But I obviously listen to what I just said there. Police are patrolling more in high crime areas. That's a good thing.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that the high crime areas can reduce it to the point where the crime rate is lower, or it may be a lower income neighborhood, but if the crime rate can be reduced to the numbers that's satisfactory, would we even need that over policing? Is that even necessary? Or is there I don't know, this has been rumored, but is there like a quota, especially for younger cops new to the force? Do they need to show a lot of activity, a lot of ticket writing, a lot of arrests, right?
Mhm.
And then they're just going to create a demand? Because part of it's like, whenever I appeared in court,
Mhm.
right, whether it's for a ticket, a violation or whatnot, and I'm pleading not guilty and I'm fighting my ticket or whatever, and every time I've been to court since, mostly because of college, and I'll tell you what, where I went to college, everyone I saw in court were all minorities. They were either Asians, Mexicans, blacks, or Hispanics. Like, it was people of color
Okay.
and maybe one white guy.
Okay.
Okay. And there were like a whole bunch of us in that room. So, and that's apparent here too.
Okay, if they get the numbers down, not the quota, I'll get into the quota part for the second in a second. So even if they got the number down, like, we still have to go somewhere. We have to justify our existence, right?
Right.
So we still have to patrol. And it's always a perception thing, like whether or not we over police or we're just occupying or whatever. It's a perception thing. We have to go in circles. And like you said, you touched on it before. And, we're going to circle the problem blocks. We're going to be there because we have to be there.
Right. But what if that problem, my point is, what if that problem block was not a problem block anymore?
Well, how do you assess that?
If the numbers are down, there's no phone calls, there's no 911 calls, there's no killings, there's no murders. It's the people that are in that community said they policed themselves to the point where they said, look,
they
we
wouldn't
gotta
need us anymore.
we gotta be low key.
Then they wouldn't need us anymore, and they would have free reign.
Not that
giving
they
them-
don't need you. Obviously, they'll need you guys as like an insurance,
Right.
just in case something happens. But you guys don't constantly need to worry about your back and constantly having to look for something that's not there.
Well, the thing is, we have to patrol it. Like, if we gave them free reign to just, okay, well, we're going to leave you alone because crime is down here, nothing's happening here, we did everything, you don't have to come here anymore. We can't. We can't.
I
just
mean,
let them
aggressively.
do it.
That makes
Like,
sense
because
to me,
that
though.
creates.
No, that makes
because
sense
if
to me.
it- yeah,
but what I'm
because-
saying is as aggressively.
as aggressively. But how can you kind of
How do you judge how
Judge-
aggressive
yeah.
like, our
Okay.
patrols are? We're
Look-
gonna
look
go
at
around.
any good neighborhood. I see police patrolling,
good affluent?
but it's and like good schools, multi-million-dollar properties, et cetera, right? I see police patrolling, right? But it's there. No one feels worried about police presence in those neighborhoods. When they see a police officer, it's hey, how you doing? They move on. They keep it moving.
Right.
Right? I'm sure you know that as well.
Oh.
Like certain guys got good neighborhoods where you're like, you're damn lucky. And then you got other folks in the high crime areas. It's a different, it's like, oh shit, man. Like you right away look at this person like like an enemy right over. Like you said, like they're raised to they have negative interactions with police officers. So now right away it's just like, and then so they're giving that energy off. The police is just gonna reinforce whatever they thought about the police. So it's just I'm right. I told y'all they were all assholes.
So the good neighborhood and the bad neighborhood thing, like there definitely is a different vibe in how you police and everything. Part of it is like the training that you get sometimes, being tactically aware of your surroundings and considerations, like when you do car stops or if you go into a building, you're going to do this, that, and the third before you actually enter. So the mindset in a community that is not as well off, like I would say that the people, and I'm not going to stereotype everybody, but the interactions that I've had, like let's say on car stops in the precinct that I started out at, which was a lot busier and lower income, my car interactions are all negative. I start off by saying, "Hello, sir. My name is blah blah blah. I stopped you because this." Is like, "What do you want, Dick Ryder?"
No,
That's the first thing that comes out. You got to fill a quota. Here's my license and my registration. Go do your thing. Like that's the attitude I get. And it's not confined to just that one
and that's
interaction.
just you said lower income neighborhoods usually more combative.
Yeah, they're just combative off the bat. And I'm not gonna say everybody, because there are some really, really nice people in like these neighborhoods that work hard. They do what they want to do. They want to feel protected. But you have this element that that's just very anti-police. And every interaction you have with them, regardless of whether it's good or not, it always like it's never enough. Like one time hopefully I don't get in trouble for this, but
just don't name names.
well, I'm not gonna get in trouble for it because I'm just gonna say it. I saw an old guy, he's drinking a beer, in public. I could have given him a summons.
Right.
I saw he was an older dude. He was compliant. I was like, "Hey, what's in the bag?" He said, "It's alcohol, officer." And I was like, "Okay." I thought about it. I don't have the discretion to issue that ticket or not. And decided not to ticket him. I took the beer. I said, "Sir, I'm going to take this. I'm going to throw it out. And I would like for you to respect my authority. And I'm just going to ask you to go home." He complied. So the discretion
you're one
works.
of the good ones, man. I mean, I've seen officers like that too.
I mean,
that did just what you did before.
Yeah.
I've seen people publicly drinking, and the officers didn't overdose on anything. They were just like, "Hey, come on."
yeah.
Just
And
so they were just enforcing the law, and they just made them spill everything.
Yeah. And I'm just
Force
like,
them out for the homies and then just throw it away.
it's a $25 summons.
Right.
Like, he's an old dude. I'm not gonna exercise. Like, I'm not gonna give him a $25
Right.
ticket that he might not answer, and then he gets a warrant.
Yeah.
But that's my discretion. I could do it. I could definitely run him, warrant check, all that stuff, and I did. I actually did run him just to be sure on the safe side, because
Right.
you never know who you got,
Right. I understand that.
So-
That makes sense to me.
right? So I let him go, but then there's people, you give them discretion, like in the low income neighborhood that I worked at before I went to another precinct,
Mm-hmm.
like you give them discretion. Like, so I stopped this guy for running a red light.
Mm-hmm.
I get up to his car. Hey, my name is whatever from whatever precinct. I stopped you because of this. Right off the bat, he's like, I didn't run no red light.
Mm-hmm.
That's already extra because
Yeah, I'm
cops
like-
usually like come up and they don't say anything.
I know. And I'm like, I'm giving you everything up front and you're giving me attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason why I want to ticket you. You just gave me a reason to want to ticket you. And I'll see you in court. I'll gladly see you in court,
Yeah.
traffic court for that red light.
Right.
He ended up having a suspended license, so I arrested him.
Mm.
Oh man.
But why are you starting off combative? Like, there is no need for that. Like,
Right.
I respectfully gave you the reason, my name, my badge number, everything, my precinct. I gave you everything you needed to know about me, and I gave you the infraction. But yet, you still felt like you needed to be like a jerk.
I feel that it's a deeper rooted issue. Then if it's like right off the bat is combative,
Well,
there's that relationship that's established somehow in the past or whatever historically, and that's why this person is like, yeah, I'm gonna
Right.
I'm
And-
right
and
off the bat I'm gonna be like I don't respect you, and that's the way I feel towards you,